Anyway, sorry about that introduction. I'm going to cut it off when I have time. But I just wanted to, this is Tinker Reddy, journalism professor, and we've been doing a lot on databases. And I just wanted to give you a small demonstration about how one simple tool in a database, knowing what database to look for and knowing how to sort the database, can help you a lot. Just give you some really simple data stories by how much has this gone up, how much has that gone up. So let's take a look at this. Is the National Institutes of Health website, and they have a grants database. It's extremely helpful. They've been making it better. I think Congress told them they had to do it, and they've been improving it all the time. And what you can do here is you can search for money that goes to. Oops, that was the wrong link. You can search. I want to go to Reporter. Funding. Here we go. Report. You can search for money that comes from the National Institutes of Health. So the short on the National Institutes of Health, it's a government agency. It's broken down mostly by diseases, the National Cancer Institute you probably heard of, the kidney digestive disease, mental health. And it basically funds, I would say, I think it's like 75 or 80% of all scientific research in the country. Scientists cannot function without NIH money. And so every year, every couple of years, they have to apply to NIH for a grant. Become much, much more competitive, and so it's actually kind of a crisis in science. But anyway, it is the gravy train for science, and so we want to know what's happening with the National Institutes of Health. And so here's their database page, and it looks super complicated, but it's not that complicated. Again, with a lot of tools, you don't really need 90% of it. For example, here I know what to look for, so I'm gonna go to Massachusetts. So I used to get confused here, go to the eastern states, and I just want grants from Massachusetts. And so I only want new ones, and so active projects, things that are still going. So I'm going to click that, active projects, that's selected. And then I'm going to go down here, because there are a couple of ways I want to sort it based on what I'm interested in. And really, this is a super important one. And this is one that if you weren't familiar with healthcare government funding for sciences, you just wouldn't know what this meant. It's meaningless, these codes. But I do. So I know that really, the main funding that I'm interested in is R01 or R01 equivalents. Those are the big money grants that come in. So I really want to just have those. And I gotta find out, there's one here. And I really don't want the ones that are coming back. I want to find out what's new. So I'm going to uncheck this and check new. So here I am looking for anything in Massachusetts. Should we just say Boston? Make it smaller? Let's make it Boston, make it smaller. We're looking for new awards for the big time R01 equivalents and for 2005. Active projects that are active now. They may have been funded a couple of years ago, but they're active now. So we're going to submit the query. And it's going to give us, it's going to produce a database for us. Query from NIH Reporter. I'm not sure what that's doing. Cancel. All right, that wasn't right, but let's try it again. Submit query. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. When in doubt, when something doesn't work the first time, just keep going. This might take a minute, although I just did it for Massachusetts and it took a few minutes. But what it will do is it will download, it will give me a database. There we go. And it's going to show me 275 grants that came into Boston. You can see the different Boston institutions this year. And I think they are sorted by date at this point. Maybe not. Here's a 2010. I'm not actually sure. Let's see. Project title. It's probably the grant number, but it's not meaningful because we're going to sort it by something else. But one of the nice things about this database is, again, I'm not a scientist, so I don't really know what repeat-containing RNA binding proteins of trypanosomes means. It's some kind of genetic research. It's going to be whoops. But if I click on that, here's a description of it. Sometimes there'll be a link to the author, and this is really good. This is really good. All these grants, they have to say that's basically explain it in English. What's the public health relevance? The causative agents of African sleeping sickness. This T. brucei is one of the ancient mitochondria-containing organisms. Unsurprisingly, fundamental phenomena were discovered. Okay, so now we're going to have to look this up. This is cellular parts of the cell, and this is genetic research that's. You just have to look it up. But at least we know this is what we're after, African sleeping sickness. So you can do that, but you can do that later. First, what you want to do is figure out how to who's getting the most money in this period. So I am going to download this. Oops, I'm going to download this report and export. So this thing, they have like a little tiny thing, all projects. Yeah, we'll go to all projects. So I'm going to export them. Go, and it is going to ask me. I already kind of sorted this down, I think. It's going to ask me for what information I want on there. So I've eliminated some of the information I generally don't want. So I'm just going to export it like that. And what it's going to do is it's going to give me an Excel database. And then 98 records exported. It's pretty quick, actually. I'm working on my Mac here. Okay, so here I'm going to save the file. Save the file. It's downloading a Excel document to my desktop. Well, I don't know actually where it's documented. Downloading it. Look at this. It's terrible. But you can go just spread it out. There's the name of the research. This is the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. This I really don't need. So I'm going to delete that, actually. Delete that whole column. Delete. No, never mind. Be careful what you delete. Here's the name of the researcher. Here's the name of the institution. Here's the boss, and here's the cost. So there's a way to change this to dollars, which I can't really. Let's see here. Sum. No, I don't want a sum. Average count numbers. Format. All right. Anyway, I'll figure that out later. But you get the idea. So here's the amount of money that's coming in this year for these projects. That was something that I didn't know when I first did this. I thought it was the total cost of the project, the total funding for the project, and so I wrote a story, and it became more complicated because I was saying, oh, this person has the most money, but it was actually only the most money that year. So I had to, you have to report on your numbers. You just can't do the numbers. So here we want to sort. We want to know who got the most money and who got the least amount of money. Right now we're in alphabetical order. The thing that we want to make sure is that everything moves with us. There's a bunch of different ways to do that, but the best way I've found out is right here. Just you want to sort based here. So you can either go here to the little sort item, because we're just going to sort it ascending or descending. So we'll do it descending, meaning we'll get the highest first. And what you want to do is kind of pay attention to these other columns and make sure if this column looks exactly the same, then you have a problem. But if this column's more scrambled up, then you know that you're on the right track. So let's do descending. And here we go. So these numbers are going down, and these numbers are going, these names are all kind of scrambled up. But let's try ascending, and you'll see that it's different. We'll start at the lowest number, and then we'll go up. And again, these numbers are scrambled up. So this will allow you to get, the top 10 list. And if you apply some of the formulas that that they talk about in the tutorial, very simple formulas, you can add up summaries, you can compare and look at changes in growth from year to year, and you can get a lot of good stories out of it. But really, and just by sorting alone, you can do those top 10 lists, and you can take advantage of these databases in a very simple way.